And since this page is actually the sign up page now, we should change this login to sign up. So let's go here to the title and change that to sign up, and we're good to go. So down here in the JavaScript area, we want to create one function that will do everything for us. So delete everything except for this function that gets a document gets an element by ID. So everything else must go. So delete, so that we are also all on the same page. So what we want to do now is grab the sign up button here by its ID. Okay, so let me do that. So let's come down here and say var is equal to sign up button is equal to get element by ID sign up button at the end here. Now what we want to do is add an event listener. Event listener, pay attention to the capital letters, and we're going to say click because that's the event that we want to run here, that we are listening for. And the function we will run is called collect_data. So you can give it your own name. So let's create that same function, collect data, like this. Okay, so now to collect data, what we want to do is grab the form here, which we have named my form, and then once we grab it, we are going to get all the inputs that are in here. Okay, so let's come back here and say var my form is equal to get element by ID my form. And now the inputs, let's declare that var inputs is equal to my form dot. Now we're going to do something else here, get elements, we put by tag name. So this is one that gets all the elements that contain a specific tag, like input in this case. So I'm going to use the uppercase like so. So what I'm saying is that inside my form, get all elements that have this tag name called input. Okay, so this will give me an array of inputs, so I can go through that array and say for and put inputs here like so. Okay, so we have a for loop here going through each one of them, and what I want to do is grab the key. I'm going to say var key is equal to input, whatever that input is at the time, dot name. Okay, so what I want to do is know which of these I'm actually dealing with at a particular time, so I can use that with the name to identify them. Okay, so let me create up here something to hold our data. So I'm going to say var data is equal to, we're going to use an empty object. We're going to create an empty object. So objects in here are very useful. They're just like arrays, but more like associative arrays from PHP. So in this case, let's check which key we have. So we're going to use the select. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say switch like so. So I'm going to put a condition here, switch. I'm going to use the key as a condition. Okay, so switch is just like the for loop, the if statement, sorry. It's just kind of like the if statement, and you can put in several conditions here. I will talk about this in more detail as we go on. But switch is like saying if key is equal to this, then do this. If key is equal to that, then do that, and so on and so forth. But it's just a different way of expressing the same kind of information. So switch looks for cases, like case. If I want to know if the key is equal to username like this, and then I'll put a full colon down here like this, and then I will run the condition that happens here. So the advantage of this one is just the syntax looks much better. So I'm going to do this, and here I'm going to say email, right? So case email, case username, case gender, okay, and then case what's the remaining one? Password, right? So we need to get both passwords, 1 and 2 in that case. So I'm going to do that and say password and duplicate it one more time and put 2 at the end. So now the thing is this with switch. So I'm going to say switch here. So each time this loop runs, so we are going through each one of these guys, each one of these inputs. So every time the input is grabbed there, we're going to ask our question, which of these inputs is it? Is it the username? Is it the email? Is it the gender? And so on. And then we do different things depending on what it is. So what we do here is, now the way the switch thing works is it will check through all the cases here to make sure that all of them are running. So to prevent that, we have to put a keyword called break, like so. So that if this case actually happens, we don't need to check if it's any of these. So we're going to just do break right there. Okay, so I'll come back here, but if the case is username, what we want to do is add that to our data. So we're going to say data.username is equal to the current input dot value. So let me put that here and put that value. So we want to get that value that's associated with it at that time. Okay, then let's put some space here so that we can see clearly what's going on. So I could indent these a little bit like so that you see what's happening here. So switch key, if the case of the key is username, and we're going to do this right here, and break. So if we don't break, it will keep going through here and read through all of them, which is not what we want. So what I want now is to copy all these here and do exactly the same thing. So I'm going to select multiple here, do the tab key and paste them like so, and add enter like this. So this is why I chose the switch case, because you can clearly see what's happening here. It's much easier to see than using an if statement if there are a lot of options like this. Okay, so here we obviously need to change this to email, and I'm going to change this one to gender, and I will change this one to password, and similarly password too. However, there's a funny case with gender here, because gender has two options here. Both of these inputs are named gender. So what will happen is if it checks and sees that this one is named gender, it's going to give it a specific value. So let me actually add these values here. We have to have a value is equal to like this, and one of them is male, the other one should be female. Those should be the values. So what will happen is that at this point it will check this one is named gender, so since the values are fixed, it will just get that value. And then the next time around it will check and it's still named gender, and it's going to add female. So which means here the answer will always be female. So we have to check if we have to use only the one that is actually checked. So we need to have an if statement that checks for that kind of thing. So down here we will put a simple if statement and say if this current input, okay, if this input dot checked, right? So we want to see if it actually checked. That's the only time we add it, like so. So if it's not checked, we simply ignore it. All right, so this should suffice. And then lastly, we can simply echo out and see what data.username contains. So this is after the for loop. So let's grab this and see right there. This is where the for loop ends. So we'll do this and that, something like so. So we want to alert ourselves to this one so that just to see that things actually went well. Okay, so let's come back here and let me refresh the page, add some gibberish and hit sign up. And you see that it's showing me there that things are working well. And let me use json.stringify to check what the whole thing contains. Now let me do this, json.stringify, like so, stringify, like that. So obviously at this point you don't understand what this is, but just bear with me. I will explain what this is in the next video, so don't worry about it. It's just a way for us to see what the data contains. So this is what we've gotten from there: password to password, email, and username, and there is no gender there. So if, let's say, male was selected, so let me add the name here. I'm just say gibberish, password, and then I select male and sign up. So you'll see that the data looks like this now. Okay, so there's password, this is a password, password 2, the gender is male, email, and username. Okay, so objects are very, very useful in JavaScript, especially when you're transferring data between the server and your website, between the server and the client. So we're going to be using objects a lot. So I'm going to spend the next video explaining how objects work and what this JSON stringify actually is. All right, so at this point I will go ahead, and because we've collected our data here, what I will do now is send this data to our server. Okay, so let me go down here. Where is this? Function ends at this point. Okay,